Hello and welcome to Fix Home Network. In this video, I will show you how to set up Linksys AC1200 wireless router. The model number will be Linksys E5400. We will also discuss how to set up this router without installation CD or any program. Like other Linksys routers, you can open the setup page of the router and change the settings manually. We will also discuss what is the default password of this router, how to create guest network access, and how to upgrade the firmware of this router. So let's start with how to set up this router without installation CD or any other program. First of all, you will need to connect your internet modem to the router and your main computer to the router. On this router, there are 5 different ports. One is called as Internet or WAN port. This port is used to connect your internet modem. So connect your internet modem to the WAN or Internet port on the Linksys router. Now take one more cable and connect your main computer through the router with the Ethernet cable. So you can connect it to port 1, 2, 3, 4, any one of them. Now on your computer, open the internet browser. It could be Safari, Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer. Open any internet browser and in the address bar type in the number 192.168.1.1. This is the default IP address of this Linksys router. So just type this number and hit enter. Now it will ask you for the username and password, the password of the router. Now the default password of Linksys E5400 wireless router is admin. Try that password and see if that works. If this is the first time you are installing this router, then I will suggest you to reset the router and start with the scratch. If you have already installed this router and if it is not taking the password of this router, then you might have changed the password of the router. So in this case, you will need to reset the router to factory default settings. There is a small reset button on the router. Press and hold it down for 10 to 15 seconds. Release the reset button. Unplug the power cable. Wait for 10 more seconds and plug it back in. Now wait for 30 seconds. Let the router boot up and you will see solid power light. Now try to access the page again, 192.168.1.1, and try the password admin and it will let you go. Now all these steps are mentioned on my website also. You can go to my website and you will see all these steps in detailed information. So you will see the link in the you're on the page where it is asking you to enter the password of the router. Try admin in the password and get login. Now if this is the first time you are setting up this router, then you will see the setup wizard like this. So just check the box I have read and accept the terms and click next. Now it will ask you to change the password and the name of your wireless network. So this is a dual band router, so you will see 2 different wireless networks. The first one is 2.4 gigahertz wireless network and the second one is 5 gigahertz wireless network. So we need to change the names of these wireless networks and enter the password also. So let's try. I'll just try wireless 2.4 and some password. This one is wireless 5 and I'll use the same password. So I've just changed the network name to different and the password will be the same. Next. Now it will ask you to change the password of the router. The default password is admin. Now if you want to change the password, let's change it here. You can try any other password that you can remember. Just keep it different than your wireless network password. Now click next. So this is the summary of the settings that you have changed. Click save. Alright, if it will ask you to register your product, so enter the email address, and if you want to register, enter the email address check this box and click next. Otherwise, simply click on skip. Alright, now it will show you what is the firmware of your router. It will ask you if you want to check the latest firmware. Otherwise, just click on done. Alright, so it shows now you are all finished. So your computer is hooked up to the router and your modem is also hooked up to the router. So now try to access the internet on the computer which is hooked up to the router, which is hardwired to the router, and see if you are getting internet through the router. If you're not able to go online with the wired connection, you will need to check the wireless settings. So let's go to the configuration tab, then go to WAN setup. Alright, so these are the internet connection settings of your router. Now it depends on what type of internet connection you are using. If you are using cable internet service provider, then go to MAC address clone. Check this box, MAC address clone, enable it, and click on the button clone my PC's MAC. Then click on save. Alright, so you have cloned the MAC address of your computer to the router. This is the setting for the cable internet service provider. Now if you are using a DSL internet service provider and if they have given you PPPoE username and password, then change this internet setup to PPPoE. Here enter the username and password given by your internet service provider. Alright, so just enter the username and password and click save. Done. These are the settings for the DSL internet service provider. Now if you have any other type of internet service like static IP, select static IP, enter the details, click save. If you have PPTP, then enter the numbers and save. L2TP, enter your username and password and save. So these are the internet settings so that your modem and your router can communicate with each other. Alright, once you are done with the internet settings, try to access internet on your computer. You will be able to go online on the wired computer. Now let's go to your wireless computer and try to access internet on the wireless computer also. First you will need to search for the wireless network. You will see two different wireless networks. Try to connect to the wireless network. It will ask you for the password. Type in the same password that you created for the wireless network and connect. Once you are connected, you will be able to go online on the wireless computer also. So that's it for the wired and wireless computer. So basically you are done with the settings of your router. This is the setup process. Now let's move on to guest network access. This router can produce guest wireless network, so that if you have any guests coming in, you can allow them to connect to the guest network and they will be connected to the separate wireless network. They will not be able to access your main wireless network. It's a completely different network. Alright, so here go to Wi-Fi tab. First configuration, then Wi-Fi, then go to guest access, allow, check the box allow. Now this will be something like the name of the network will be your main network dash guest. Alright, here you can change the password of the guest network. Enter in password, just keep it something different than your main password. Alright, and change. Then change the number of the guests to be allowed, and SSID broadcast should be enabled always, and then click save. Alright, so you have created a separate wireless network for the guest networks. Now let's move on to the next section, how to upgrade the firmware of your router. You are on the configuration tab, go to administration tab, then go to firmware upgrade sub tab. Alright, now it will click on check firmware and it will check for the firmware update. If there is any update, it will show you here. Now what you need to do, you need to go to a Linksys website and download the latest firmware for your model number for your router. Save it on your computer. Now once you have the file saved on your computer, you can click on choose file button and browse the file that you have saved on your computer, the firmware file, and then click on start upgrade. It will start upgrading the firmware of your router. Alright, so that's it for the Linksys E5400 or Linksys AC1200 wireless router setup. That was so easy. You just need to go to 192.168.1.1 and change the settings manually. That's it. It is very easy. If you have